Gurgle, gurgle. With the Silverlight Mouse making its move, everyone around could feel it. Guanghan Island, which had seemed to be shrouded in mysterious restrictions, was rapidly weakening. It wouldn't be long before they could enter. This time, we better keep our guard up. We can't let Xiaoyan trick us again, one of the strong figures below muttered. Although they were pleased, they remained cautious of Xiaoyan. After all, both the Iron Gate entrance and the swamp area incidents left them wary. He always seemed to beat them to the punch. If someone got the jump on them, the best treasures would undoubtedly be snatched away. Strange. Why does Guanghan Island feel so familiar? Someone wondered aloud. And why is the blood demon golden chi in my chest stirring uneasily? Could it be that the extraterritorial evil clan is sealed within this island? The sudden and mysterious death of Jiao Yu Fairy might be linked to them, Xiaoyan pondered, thoughts racing through his mind. There's definitely something evil in Guanghan Island, Mu Yingying remarked. She, possessing the sacred flame, could clearly sense the malicious energy from the extraterritorial evil clan. Boom, boom, boom. Before long, the restriction sealing Guanghan Island was completely undone. The seal's broken. Everyone can enter now, Xiaoyan said casually, storing the Silverlight Mouse back into his ring before returning to Mu Yingying's side. Charge. Everyone, let's go. Jiao Yu Fairy's inheritance is inside. Whoever gets there first has a chance to claim it, someone shouted. Immediately, excited cries erupted as disciples shot into the sky, racing towards Guanghan Island without hesitation. The inheritance and the battle soul won't be easy to claim, someone remarked. Let's go. Meng Fei didn't delay. Although he still found Xiaoyan mysterious, the priority was to get inside and see what was happening. Should we head in? Lung Fuyao asked as they watched the masses surge towards Guanghan Island. No rush, Yuru replied calmly, clearly in no hurry. Let them go first, Xiaoyan added, his gaze following the crowd swarming into the island, a slight smirk on his lips. Heh, let them go ahead. They have no idea of the dangers lurking in Guanghan Island. The Silverlight Mouse suddenly chimed in with a laugh. You've got some skill, little guy, Lung Fuyao said with a grin, clearly impressed by the Silverlight Mouse's ability to break the entrance seal. Hey, don't touch me. Do you think you can just pet me as you please? The Silverlight Mouse puffed itself up in defiance, though it was clearly nervous around Lung Fuyao. Girls seem to have a natural soft spot for fluffy creatures and magical beasts, and it was obvious the Silverlight Mouse had struck that chord in Lung Fuyao. Let's move, Xiaoyan said, seeing that most people had already entered. Yuru nodded. A faint silver glow shimmered beneath her bangs as she prepared to move. To the medicine garden first? Yuru asked Xiaoyan softly. Xiaoyan nodded in response. The medicine garden? Aren't we going after the inheritance and the battle soul? Qin Xian was slightly startled. Though she was only along as a supporting role, she was still eager to see the action. There are too many people after the inheritance and the battle soul. The weakest here is at least late 6-star Do D, so let them wear each other down first. Besides, if Jiao Yu Fairy's inheritance and the battle soul were so easy to obtain, they wouldn't have gone unclaimed after so many attempts, Xiaoyan added with a smile. You sure you're not after something in the medicine garden? Five Poisons teased, noticing how Xiaoyan's eyes twinkled as he explained. Heh. Xiaoyan grinned sheepishly, realizing Five Poisons had seen right through him, but he didn't elaborate. Well, I'm curious now. Linju, let's follow Xiaoyan and see what's up. I'd like to know just what kind of person can earn such high praise from 3 pavilion masters, Five Poisons said, casting a curious glance at Xiaoyan. Follow me, Yuru interrupted, cutting through the banter, before leaping into Guanghan Island. Let's go, Xiaoyan said, giving everyone a quick glance to ensure no one was left behind, then followed. Following them, the inheritor is among their group. So, I think they must know some secrets about Guanghan Island, Xing Luo said softly, her lashes fluttering before she spoke. Understood, Xiaobai replied, and the two immediately started following Xiaoyan and his group. These guys are up to something mysterious. It's worth tagging along. They might lead us to something valuable. What do you think, Brother Wangxie? Gu and I pondered aloud. We follow them, Wang Xie said after a brief moment of thought. Since the battle soul wasn't on Jade Rabbit Island, it was likely on Guanghan Island. And with the vast size of Guanghan Island, it would be difficult to search in a short time. Better to follow Xiao Yan's group. Let's go. With that, the two reached an agreement and followed closely behind. By now, everyone who had entered the ruins was heading toward Guanghan Island. Some were after the battle soul, some sought the so-called inheritance, while others had their own hidden agendas. Everyone was harboring their own motives. What a mysterious place, someone commented. There's a faint trace of star power in this space. Only Dosian-level experts can condense something like this, another voice added as they stepped into Guanghan Island. Above, the moon shone brightly, its light falling upon Yuru, giving her a strange sensation. Why don't I feel anything? Mu Feng asked, puzzled that Yuru was the only one in their group sensing it. Maybe it's because she carries the inheritance rune, Wu Du speculated, stepping forward. Come on, that's so unfair. Mu Feng groaned in frustration. Why don't you try absorbing some of the star power? Maybe it'll help you break through, Yuru teased, smiling at him. Though Mu Feng wasn't particularly strong, Yuru knew firsthand how terrifying his abilities could be. After all, he had cracked the 8 trigrams formation guarding the iron door earlier. I'll pass. I'd lose out too much by staying behind, Mu Feng replied after thinking it over. Let's go this way, Yuru suggested, but the other's attention was drawn to a massive purple palace in the distance. Is that the place of inheritance? What a terrifying aura, someone murmured, as a ripple of excitement surged through the group. Guanghan Island was full of basins, most of them small and nestled in low valleys, surrounded by lush mountains and clear waters. It was a picturesque place, perfect for sightseeing. The legacy of Jiao Yu Ferry certainly isn't simple, Xiao Yin finally broke the silence. As the group wandered deeper into Guanghan Island, they realized it wasn't as rich or abundant as they had imagined. That purple palace is probably filled with danger, Wu Du remarked cautiously after surveying the nearby valleys and finding nothing amiss. Even someone as strong as you feels fear? Xiaoqi couldn't help but laugh. It was the first time he'd seen Wu Du this wary. Don't tell me you haven't sensed that thing in there, Wu Du shot back, his disbelief evident. The battle soul, perhaps? To think something that only Do Xian level experts can possess is hidden in these ruins. It might be more enticing than the inheritance itself, Xiaoqi joked. Don't be so sure, Wu Du replied, casting a glance at Yuru behind Xiaoqi. Let's move. That purple palace is well defended. If they want to get inside, it'll take time, Xiaoyan remarked. This way, Yuru nodded and led the group onward. Following her guidance, the large group pressed forward until they reached their destination. Is this the herb garden? What a rich aroma of medicinal herbs! Qin Exine couldn't help but comment as they stood before a forest enveloped in a strange energy. Careful. That fragrance is poisonous, Lung Fuyao warned with a grin. Poisonous? Qin Exine's face instantly paled. Sister Qin Exine, are you all right? Don't scare me, someone else chimed in. I was only joking, Lung Fuyao laughed nervously, seeing Qin Exine's reaction. Phew, I'm fine, Qin Exine finally said, laughing along with Lung Fuyao. No harm had been done. Those two really have a close bond, Mu Feng remarked. Let's go check it out, Xiao Yin said after scanning the forest with his soul power. Let's move, everyone nodded in agreement. The forest is full of precious herbs, so be careful not to trample them, Xiao Yin reminded the group. This guy, who knew he could be so meticulous? Lung Fuyao muttered, glancing at Xiao Yin. How do we get in? Mu Feng was the first to arrive at the forest's edge, but what greeted him was a thick, verdant aura that completely encased the forest. No matter how hard Mu Feng tried, that strange green aura remained unshaken. This green aura isn't poison. It seems more like a protective barrier, Xiao Yin remarked. Leave it to me. Just as Xiao Yin was about to act, the mysterious rune on Yuru's forehead began to emit a soft glow. She directed the energy toward the green aura in front of them. With a soft whoosh, the barrier instantly dissipated, revealing an opening large enough for everyone to pass through. Let's go. As they entered, a sense of comfort washed over everyone, and they eagerly stepped inside. Strange, Xiao Yin murmured. Ever since we arrived on Guanghan Island, my Fireheart Heavenly Rock has been uneasy, and that unease seems to be coming from that purple crystal palace over there. Xiao Yin glanced toward the distant, mysterious structure as he and Yuru were the last to step through the opening. What are you thinking about? Yuru asked, noticing that the others had already entered the medicinal garden. She smiled softly at Xiao Yin, cherishing the rare moment they had alone. It's nothing. Has your inheritance rune shown any signs? Xiao Yin smiled in response. Since entering Guanghan Island, I felt a subtle pull toward that purple crystal palace, Yuru said, her delicate eyebrows slightly raised as her gaze met Xiao Yan's. Let's go. I need to find one last medicinal herb. Once I get it, I'll go with you to explore that palace, Xiao Yan said, preparing to move forward. Yuru, her voice soft and wistful, suddenly spoke. Wouldn't it be wonderful if time could just stay like this? Xiao Yin, oblivious to her thoughts, simply entered the garden. Xiao Yin, through Jiao Yu Fairy's inheritance rune, I can faintly sense that your background might be far more mysterious than you realize, Yuru mused to herself. But so what? She smirked. Once I obtain Jiao Yu Fairy's inheritance, I won't be any less than you. When the time comes, I won't let you off so easily. With a soft humph, Yuru's lips curved into a gentle smile. Her cheeks flushed slightly as she followed Xiao Yin inside. As Xiao Yin and the others disappeared, Xing Luo and Xiaobi emerged slowly. The medicinal energy here is so dense, Xing Luo commented. These guys, ignoring the inheritance and instead coming here for herbs. What are they thinking? Xiaobi added, clearly puzzled by Xiao Yan's group's intentions. I suspect they know that if the inheritance in that purple crystal palace were so easy to obtain, it would be laughable, Xing Luo said, a hint of caution in her voice. Let's stay alert. Right now, they have disciples from Incense Pavilion, Myriad Flowers Pavilion, and the Poison sect with them. If we're discovered, things could get difficult, Xiaobi warned as they began to follow. The medicinal garden was vast, filled with rare and unusual herbs. Xing Luo and Xiaobi had their own goals, so instead of heading straight for the palace, they decided to search for what they needed first, just like Xiao Yan's group. Those guys, a short while later, Wang Xie and Guni appeared behind them. Xiao Yan's group has gotten pretty strong, Wang Xie said, a serious look in his eyes. After all, with Xiao Yan's elusive abilities and the addition of Shou Qi and the two women from the 5 poisons, Wang Xie and Guni were no match for them. We'll take it one step at a time. Don't worry, though Xiao Yan's team is strong, it won't be easy for them to swallow us whole, Guni said. Conceal our aura. Let's go down and see what's happening, Wang Xie said. As the two of them also entered the medicinal garden, the garden was becoming quite the lively place. This is getting interesting, said Xing Luo, unaware that at the garden's entrance, a faint, colorless soul force had swiftly transmitted their conversation back to Xiao Yin. Clearly, Xiao Yin had heard everything. The medicinal garden was a sprawling forest, lush and vibrant, with trees and herbs growing wildly, making it an ideal place to conceal oneself. Xiao Yin, what's going on? Lung Fuyao asked, sensing something off. Nothing. Let's keep moving. Xiao Yin casually dismissed her concern as they ventured deeper into the garden. This medicinal garden was a rare, sacred place within Jiao Yu Fairy's ruins. Many rare and precious herbs essential for refining divine pills grew here. Herbs so rare that they were nearly impossible to cultivate in the outside world, where the conditions needed to nurture them were all but impossible to recreate. Yet, in this mysterious garden, those very herbs flourished. Such great treasures. As soon as they entered the medicinal garden, Long Fuyao's small eyes locked onto the herbs growing freely on the ground, as if they were of no value. This is only the beginning, Xiao Yin chuckled in response. Clearly, even someone as well-traveled as Long Fuyao had managed to surprise Xiao Yin. After all, the few herbs she had just mentioned were practically unheard of in the outside world. It was impressive that she could identify them so precisely, purely based on ancient records. Time is short, so let's skip the small talk. Because of that cursed woeful poison body, we need to find some specific herbs. Let's split up here, said 5 poisons. Agreed. This garden is vast. If we stick together, it'll take forever to find what we need. Splitting up is the best choice. Mu Feng nodded. Woeful poison body, huh? Upon hearing this, Xiao Yan's mind drifted to a woman named Little Dr. Fairy. He wondered how she was doing now. Let's split. I'll go with her, Xiaoqi declared. You three form one group, you two another, and Xiao Yan's team will be the last. 5 poisons, Lin Zhu, and Mu Feng were in one group. Xiaoqi, Qin Xian, and Lung Fuyao formed the second. Xiao Yan, Mu Yingying, and Yu Ru made up the third. Let's move out separately. If anything unexpected happens, we'll adapt, Xiao Yan instructed. Understood, the 3 groups replied and quickly scattered. Let's go, Xiao Yan said, glancing briefly over his shoulder before leading Mu Yingying and Yu Ru forward. Creak. Up in a sturdy tree, Wang Xie and Gunny's faces twisted with uncertainty. What now? Do you think that guy noticed us? Wang Xie grumbled. They had initially followed the people from Astrological Valley into the garden, but suddenly, the 2 women they were trailing had vanished. Now, this was the situation they faced. That shouldn't be the case. Let's keep following them, Gunny said, his expression distant. With just a perfect 5-star Do Emperor and a late 6-star Do Emperor, they won't last long against us. Don't forget, Xiao Yan is the one who killed Qi Haoran, Wang Xie cautioned, though his eyes gleamed with greed for the inheritance rune Yu Ru carried. He wasn't about to be used as someone's pawn. Of course. But with 2 women beside him, we can target them first. Let's see how Xiao Yan handles that. They exchanged lewd smiles. Miss, it's a good thing you spotted them early, or those 2 would have caused us trouble, Xiaobi said, wrapped in a circle of silver energy alongside Xinglong. The people from Myriad Poison Sect and Solomon have always been unpleasant to deal with, Xinglong remarked coldly, her aura masking their presence. Let's check this place for anything we need, Xinglong continued, not wanting any involvement with Solomon or the Myriad Poison Sect. Meanwhile, deep in the center of the medicinal garden, a few figures had already arrived. Here, for towering trees created a serene and picturesque setting. Silver vines coiled across the ground, radiating a thick imperial qi, making it clear this was a rare cultivation ground. A man sat calmly on the silver vines, occasionally scanning the surroundings as if waiting for someone. His entire being radiated a dazzling aura, but what stood out the most was his silver hair. If Xiao Yan had been here, he would have instantly recognized the man as none other than the heavenly King Ginseng. Brother Ginseng, what's the urgency? Why have you called us here? 2 men approached, one extremely small and the other massively built, forming a sharp contrast. You're here. Sit, the heavenly King Ginseng said, without wasting words, gesturing for them to sit. The 2 men exchanged glances. They both knew this was Heavenly King Ginseng's personal cultivation ground. Though these 4 towering trees seemed ordinary, they were arranged according to his birth chart and were crucial for his cultivation. The rarity of this place couldn't be overstated, and Heavenly King Ginseng never allowed any herbs to grow here. It was strange for him to summon them under such unusual circumstances. Little Vine, Big Mushroom, do you know why I've called you here today? Heavenly King Ginseng asked, noticing their confusion. We 3 were originally medicinal herbs, and ever since we were born in this herb garden, we were fortunate enough to take human form with the aid of the mysterious power within. Although we're not true humans, our cultivation has benefited immensely from it, Heavenly King Ginseng softly remarked, gazing into the distance. Indeed. Brother Ginseng, you've been in this garden the longest. We owe much of our progress to you, 2 figures beside him said with a smile. But do you know how long I've lived? Heavenly King Ginseng suddenly asked, turning to the 2. How long? The question left the pair puzzled. It's been almost 9,000 years. Before long, the smaller figure, Little Vine, spoke up. 9,000 years? Could it be? Isn't there still 1,000 years left? The burly figure, Big Mushroom, quickly asked. Little Vine isn't wrong, Heavenly King Ginseng chuckled. But it's not 9,000. It's nearly 10,000. As he finished speaking, his eyes grew deep and filled with mystery. What? 10,000 years? Big Mushroom's expression shifted, as if suddenly recalling something, and he looked at Heavenly King Ginseng in disbelief. Little Vine, among the three of us, you're the youngest and the weakest. Do you know what a heavenly tribulation is? Heavenly King Ginseng ignored Big Mushroom and directed the question to Little Vine. I don't. Little Vine shook her head, confused. Heavenly tribulation? It's a curse of sorts, a punishment for all non-human beings, Heavenly King Ginseng explained, his voice tinged with sorrow. What do you mean? Little Vine furrowed her brow in confusion. All beings, including magical beasts, herbs, elixirs, and other extraordinary creations of heaven and earth, are born with the power of the universe. But as we grow stronger, to the point of challenging the balance of heaven and earth, we attract something known as the heavenly tribulation, Heavenly King Ginseng explained. The terror of the heavenly tribulation is beyond words. One thing is certain, no being willingly faces it. Under the heavenly tribulation, all hopes are crushed, and there's only the slimmest chance of survival. If you fail, you turn to dust. But if you succeed, you emerge from your cocoon like a butterfly, soaring to new heights. Heavenly King Ginseng's voice was filled with a sense of helplessness. Even he, with all his wisdom, seemed powerless. Is there no way to avoid it? Little Vine asked, sensing the gravity of the situation. This is not something you can easily escape, Heavenly King Ginseng replied. Every rare treasure under heaven faces a tribulation every 10,000 years. The first at 10,000 years, the second at 50,000, and the third at 100,000. Many treasures perish under these tribulations. However, if one can survive all three, they ascend to an entirely different level, one that even the heavens would struggle to suppress, he continued. Is that why you're? Big Mushroom suddenly realized something. Yes, I'm here to bid you both farewell, Heavenly King Ginseng confirmed. Among the humans who entered the ruins, there's one who might help me survive the tribulation. I must try, there's no time left. It's too dangerous, Big Mushroom responded immediately. Dangerous or not, I have to go. This is my last chance. Heavenly King Ginseng shook his head. Is there anything we can do to help? Big Mushroom asked, knowing full well that if Heavenly King Ginseng missed this opportunity, he would surely perish. That was something neither he nor Little Vine wanted to witness. I'll leave the herb garden in your care, Heavenly King Ginseng said with a smile, not elaborating further. Understood, both Big Mushroom and Little Vine replied, recognizing his resolve. Will you return? Little Vine asked, her voice trembling with doubt. If I succeed, I will definitely return. Don't worry, Heavenly King Ginseng reassured them before transforming into a streak of silver light, vanishing from the center of the herb garden. Big Brother Mushroom, do you think he'll succeed? Little Vine asked, watching Heavenly King Ginseng's departure. I don't know. You've lived 5,000 years now. You'll understand when your time comes, Big Mushroom replied. He glanced around but said nothing more. You have to succeed. Little Vine prayed silently in her heart. At that moment, Heavenly King Ginseng had already left the garden, heading toward Xiao Yin and his group. He possesses the sacred flame, and judging by his immense soul power, if I'm not mistaken, he must be an exceptionally talented alchemist. But none of that matters now. After the tribulation, my body will be equivalent to a Heavenly King Ginseng of 10,000 years. Truly a bargain for this guy, the Heavenly King Ginseng muttered, a flicker of sorrow flashing in its eyes. Currently, the Heavenly King Ginseng had a lifespan close to 10,000 years. Its medicinal potency far surpassed any other Heavenly King Ginseng that Xiao Yin had ever known. Are you both okay? Xiao Yin asked Mu Yingying and Yuru, who were walking beside him. For some reason, ever since they had split from the others, the two women had fallen unusually silent. They listened quietly as Xiao Yin explained things along the way, never interrupting. Yet, with his sharp soul perception, Xiao Yin sensed something subtle between the two. We're fine, both women answered hastily when they noticed the concern in Xiao Yan's eyes. You! They spoke simultaneously, glancing at each other before sharing an awkward smile. We're okay. You should focus on finding the herbs you need, Yuru suggested, shifting the topic. What else do you need? Mu Yingying asked. Normally, she had a serene, unbothered nature, but when facing Yuru, she couldn't shake off an unspoken sense of threat, prompting her curiosity. Heavenly King Ginseng, Xiaoyan replied, looking at Mu Yingying without paying much attention to the undercurrent between the two women. He had far too much weighing on his mind to entertain thoughts of romance. Heavenly King Ginseng? Mu Yingying's face remained blank as she tried to grasp the unfamiliar term, clearly confused by yet another new concept. You really don't know, do you? Yuru couldn't help but chime in. The Heavenly King Ginseng is considered the finest of all ginseng. For us humans, it's an incredibly powerful tonic. It's said to boost strength, though the truth of that is uncertain. This herb only grows in rare, mysterious places, and its origin is shrouded in legend. But rumor has it, it's one of the best materials for refining bodies. Yuru's gaze flicked subtly towards Xiaoyan before she continued. But why are you looking for something like that? That guy. Xiaoyan hesitated at Yuru's question, but quickly summoned the golden demon puppet. See this? I need the Heavenly King Ginseng to enhance its power. You've seen how valuable this guy is in a fight. Ah, I see, Yuru said with a smile of understanding. She hadn't really expected an answer, but now that she had one, it put her at ease. After that, Yuru's attention shifted towards Mu Yingying, as if she wanted to say something. But when she saw the wary look in Mu Yingying's eyes, she stopped. Someone's coming, Mu Yingying warned, her body suddenly glowing with faint blue flames. Her eyes sharpened as she gazed at a large tree ahead of them. That's some terrifying fire. Yuru's heart skipped a beat, sensing that Mu Yingying's blue flame could rival the mysterious flames that Xiaoyan wielded. Yet, Mu Yingying's true strength remained an enigma to her. Who's there? Xiaoyan shouted. Come out. At his command, they noticed a figure leisurely perched atop the large tree. Cloaked in silver from head to toe, the figure's body seemed to be wrapped in a silver membrane. The man slowly stood up, a smile playing on his lips as he looked at the group. I heard you were looking for me, he said, still smiling. So I figured I'd drop in uninvited. Heavenly King Ginseng? Xiaoyan's eyes widened in shock. No one else might recognize the Heavenly King Ginseng, but as an accomplished alchemist, Xiaoyan definitely did. Although it had taken human form, the silver membrane covering the figure's body was unmistakably its core essence. A transformed human? A 10,000-year-old Heavenly King Ginseng? Without missing a beat, Xiaoyan quickly stepped in front of the two women, shielding them with his body. The sudden protective gesture warmed their hearts, though both women stared at Xiaoyan in confusion. Not bad, kid. Sharp instincts, the Heavenly King Ginseng said with a slight grin. But Xiaoyan's expression darkened. He knew that all rare, celestial objects must undergo tribulation, and only those that reached the Do Xian, Do Immortal, level could briefly assume human form. If they wanted to permanently become human, they'd need to reach the Do Xian stage, undergo a transformation, and start over as a one-star Do D. However, such a transformation would significantly weaken them. The pressure Xiaoyan felt from this Heavenly King Ginseng matched that of a Do Xian, which explained his intense reaction. If I truly had Do Xian level strength, do you think we'd be having this pleasant conversation right now? The Heavenly King Ginseng chuckled. Unique treasures of the world, whether they be magical beasts or rare medicinal herbs, once they have lived for 10,000 years, they must survive their first tribulation. Their strength then rivals that of a human at the one-star Do Xian level. This guy. Xiaoyan couldn't help but murmur. Xiaoyan had a deep understanding of magical beasts, herbs, and other extraordinary items born from the heavens and earth. Once they survive their first heavenly tribulation, their power equals a one-star Do Xian. At 20,000 years, they would be on par with a two-star Do Xian. That's why Xiaoyan felt the weight of the situation. Hee, no need to guess. Heavenly King Ginseng slowly rose and spoke directly to Xiaoyan. What's the matter? After sensing something strange in Heavenly King Ginseng's aura, Xiaoyan couldn't help but ask, Are you an alchemist? Heavenly King Ginseng cut to the chase. That's right, Xiaoyan nodded without hesitation. Heavenly King Ginseng was one of the last two ingredients needed to refine the medicine for his ancestor, Xiaoxian. As long as Heavenly King Ginseng hadn't passed its first tribulation, Xiao Yin had nothing to fear. As you've guessed, my situation is pretty much as you suspected. Heavenly King Ginseng smiled, a hint of relief in his voice. Pretty much? Xiao Yin and his companions were confused by Heavenly King Ginseng's words. What was this creature hiding? I've been alive for nearly 10,000 years. Heavenly King Ginseng continued after a brief pause, his tone filled with helplessness. Nearly 10,000 years? Could it be? Xiao Yan's mind raced as he voiced his suspicion. You're planning to transform into a human? The moment Xiao Yan asked this, a subtle change washed over Mu Yingying's expression. Correct, Heavenly King Ginseng confirmed without denying it. Are you aware that you're not yet at the Doxian level? If you attempt to transform into a human recklessly, the chances of failure are quite high, Xiao Yan cautioned after a moment of thought. Judging by his aura, Heavenly King Ginseng's strength was comparable to that of the Xinling King, possibly even stronger. Xiao Yan estimated that Heavenly King Ginseng had already reached the peak of the Do-Di level. However, being a medicinal herb-turned creature, his offensive power was weak. Yet, if he wanted to kill Xiao Yan and his companions, even with his limitations, they would have a hard time resisting. I'm well aware, which is why I came to you, Heavenly King Ginseng replied with a casual smile, though his gaze on Xiao Yan was far from innocent. Looking for free labor? You'd better find someone else, Xiao Yan smirked coldly. Haha, you're a crafty one. Aren't you afraid I'll just kill all three of you? Heavenly King Ginseng chuckled darkly, his smile laced with danger. The inheritance rune of Jiao Yu Fairy and 2 sacred flames. TSK, 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 he added, eyes gleaming with malice. Feel free to try, Xiao Yan retorted with confidence. 2 sacred flames and the inheritance rune of Jiao Yu Fairy won't be so easy for you to handle, he added, unfazed by the threat. Enough with the nonsense, Heavenly King Ginseng finally said. If you help me survive the tribulation, I'll grant you anything you want, be it treasures or information. Xiao Yan, sensing how formidable this creature was, replied cautiously, hee. While I've never assisted in a heavenly tribulation, if someone of your caliber, a peak Do-Di, is so fearful, I'm sure it's not a simple matter. Indeed, Heavenly King Ginseng admitted. As an alchemist, you should know of the Pill Thunder Tribulation, right? Of course, Xiao Yan replied. The heavenly tribulation I must face is at least 10 times stronger than the fiercest Pill Thunder Tribulation you've encountered, Heavenly King Ginseng said, his voice calm but grave. 10 times? Xiao Yan felt a chill run down his spine. If Pill Thunder Tribulations were already that terrifying, then this, heavenly tribulations differ from your so-called Pill Thunder Tribulations or life and death tribulations. For any unique treasure of the world to break free from this world's constraints, it must use the heavenly tribulation to temper its entire being, both body and soul, through its brutal baptism, Heavenly King Ginseng explained. A single mistake, and you're dead. I'll need your real body, Xiao Yan said after a moment of hesitation. That's no problem, Heavenly King Ginseng smiled. Once he passed the tribulation and successfully transformed into a human, his original form would become a separate entity. At that point, Heavenly King Ginseng's true body would be nothing more than a 10,000-year-old herb, while his consciousness would inhabit a new, human form, retaining the powerful medicinal essence of his original form. However, considering how dangerous this is, a small reward doesn't seem worth the risk on my part, don't you think? Xiao Yan asked cautiously, knowing from Heavenly King Ginseng's swift agreement and his detailed explanation that the situation was far more perilous than it appeared. The fall of Jiao Yu Fairy. I happen to know a bit about that too, the Heavenly King Ginseng remarked, suddenly flashing a smile at Xiao Yan and his companions. Clearly, the Heavenly King Ginseng was confident that with such an enticing offer, Xiao Yan wouldn't be able to resist taking the bait. Deal. Xiao Yan replied with a satisfied smile.